Body snatchers, a murder mystery, a family of magic users, and generational trauma tying them all together. In this story, the reader finds out who the protagonists really are at the same time as the characters. Dwellers was written by Filipino author Eliza Victoria, and the book received the Philippine National Book Award for Best Novel. The cover art is what caught my attention initially, but then I saw the Philippine Award text and I knew I had to buy it to support a Filipino creator. Dwellers wastes no time jumping into the action and introducing us to our two main characters, Jonah and Louis, and we join them right after a very serious car accident that preceded them leaving the bodies they were originally in and jumping into the bodies of the now dead real Jonah and Louis. So we don't actually know the original names of our protagonists, we just know that they now go by Jonah and Louis because one of the rules of body jumpers is you never mention your previous name. We find out that Jonah was injured from the car accident, which left him in a coma for a few days, and as he wakes up, he discovers his knee is broken, which leaves him bound to a wheelchair until he can recover. What's really interesting about how body jumping works in this story is that in order for it to happen, the original owners of the bodies need to die or be killed. This happened to the original Jonah and Louis in the car accident. And when you take over the new body, you don't gain any of their knowledge or memories, besides maybe some faint images or dreams here and there. So while Jonah was in a coma, Louis was trying to piece together the lives that these bodies were leading before they moved in. We get some subtle clues that the protagonists are fleeing from somewhere and that they have some magical abilities beyond just jumping into other bodies. Louis casts a protection spell around the house, and the house that they're now staying in is the house that belonged to the two brothers whose bodies they now own. The protagonists are forced to hunker down in this house because of Jonah's injury. While they would much rather get back on the road and continue running from whatever they're fleeing from, they have to wait until Jonah recovers enough to at least be able to walk. In the meantime, they are just scouring this house trying to piece together the lives of the brothers who own the bodies they are now in, so they can at least keep up appearances in the meantime so no one gets suspicious that the two brothers are no longer actually the two brothers. One day they smell something terrible, and upon inspecting the basement of the house, they discover a dead body. Suddenly they not only have to worry about what they're running from catching up to them, but also the possibility of a murder investigation coming down on them as well. That's the basic premise and setup of the book, and I'll stop there so I don't accidentally give too much away. The book is pretty short, but I think it stays for the perfect amount of time. There are several mysteries being uncovered at the same time. The first one is, who are the body snatching protagonists? What are they running from? And why do they have these magical powers? And the second mystery is, who are Jonah and Louis? And why do they have a dead body in their basement? The book also touches on themes of generational trauma, especially once you get into the background of the protagonists. A lot of ground is covered in terms of mental and physical abuse and identity. I think it asks some interesting questions about what actually makes a person who they are, like memories and experiences. While I ultimately enjoyed the story, I felt like some of the characters' motivations were a little cartoonish. Some of the characters felt like they were just bad because there needed to be a bad guy, and their actions didn't make much sense beyond they're insane or they're just a bad person. I like how magic and the supernatural in this story is very mysterious, even to the people using it. Very little is explained about it, and I think that serves the story well. While it can get a little confusing at times as to why certain things are happening or why certain characters are able to do certain things. Overall, I liked Dwellers. I thought the concept was interesting and the mysteries were written well enough that it just kept me wanting to read more. I think I wanted to like the book a lot more than I actually ended up liking it, but it was still a fun and spooky read. So if a body snatching murder mystery book sounds like something you'd be into, then check out Dwellers by Eliza Victoria.